I don't know, I mean, I didn't even think this thing would be that good, but come on, it's just so sick looking, I had to pick it up. And not to get too far ahead of myself, but spoilers, it is that good. So Epiphone is just knocking it out of the park these days, especially with their Inspired by Gibson lineup. Recently, I picked up a standard 335 in that range, and while I'm normally kind of boring in my color choices, I'm usually just looking for something that's red or preferably black. This time I went outside my comfort zone. This is a Zzounds exclusive special edition olive drab green. So choice. Everything else on this guitar is the same as a normal Epi. It's just all wrapped in this awesome grayish green. As usual, we're going to bounce around a bit, talk specs, listen to some tones. That way you guys can get a feel for what Epiphone is offering. Starting up at the headstock, you'll see Epi's Kalamazoo shape that I think has been very well received. Real good move on their part. And the back of the headstock shows Epiphone's deluxe tuners. In this case, they have been very stable. You'll also see a little sticker that says handcrafted in China. Handcrafted, guys. Remember that. The nut material is listed as Graphtec New Bone, and I gotta say the nut slots were cut very cleanly. I was very happy about that. Strangely enough, on the high side of the nut though, there was like this small finish chip in the headstock and this sort of a bunion type growth on the side of the nut. I don't know, must have just slipped past QC. But all that cleaned up very nicely. Just a little bit of file work and a very carefully wielded black Sharpie. Moving on to the neck and fingerboard, we have an Indian laurel board, which sometimes varies in color, but my example here is rather dark for Indian laurel, and I rather like it. Standard 12-inch radius, 22 frets, you know, the usual Gibson Epi treatment. And my favorite part of this neck, dot inlays. The best type of inlay for a 335, I feel. Although I can't fault you if you like those little small blocks. The neck is made out of mahogany and is a very comfortable rounded C profile. Nice and full in the hand, but not too bulky at the same time. Here's some measurements so we could be a little bit more precise. The nut width reads 43 millimeters. The width of the neck at the 12th fret is 53.5 millimeters. Thickness of the neck at the 1st fret is 21 mil. Thickness of the neck at the 12th fret is 24.5 millimeters. And the entire guitar weighs in at 8 pounds, 3 ounces. The guitar body itself is definitely not to be underestimated here. It is just gorgeous for a simple style finish. No wood grain popping through, no metallic flake, just a smooth, glossy olive drab green. I believe you can get the non-exclusive cherry or vintage sunburst options pretty much anywhere if you prefer those color choices. The body construction is standard for an ES style guitar, layered maple, top, back, and sides with a maple center block. My favorite part of this section of the guitar actually is the pick guard. They're giving these things the legit looking guards now, even with that fancy little metal bracket on the side. I mean, wow, this really makes the world of difference for me, comparing this guard to the old style Epiphone ES guards. Not to hate on those, but I kind of hated them. I am notorious for pulling off pick guards, but not so in this case. I really love the look of this. These pickups are the Alnico Classic Pros, and I did a non-commentary tone profile on them that I'll link above in case you want to hear more sounds out of this guitar. I was pleasantly surprised with these pickups. There's just a clarity there that I was not expecting, and the snap that you get in the middle position is exactly what I like to see. You have a standard ES style control layout, and Epiphone says you get CTS pots with these guitars. Kind of interesting. When it first arrived, I had issues with the bridge pickup, which was kind of upsetting because that's about the last thing I want to deal with, control issues on a semi-hollow guitar. But most likely it was just things loosening up in transit, because tightening up the pots and spraying in some contact cleaner for good measure took care of our issue. The bridge and tailpiece here are the Locktone Tune-o-matic and stop bar. These have the little clips on them that hold the bridge and tailpiece in place even with the strings off, which is kind of cool. The bridge here is the one with that little tension wire that holds the saddles in place, kind of like that red Casino that we had in the studio a little while back. But this one is very stable, unlike the one that was on the Casino. We don't have any crazy rattling going on here. I love me a good 335. I mean, I'm a sucker for them. I just can't shuck out the coin for Gibson's ES lineup. I don't know. I mean, maybe I just like eating and paying rent too much or whatever. And in times past, I didn't really quite enjoy Epiphones, semi-hollows either. They just didn't have it, if you know what I mean. But this one, it's inspired by Gibson. I mean, it says so on the tin, and I think it holds up pretty well to that name. Plus, it comes in an exclusive olive drab green that Cornell himself, I think, would have loved. This thing's straight up awesome. Anyway, hope you enjoyed today's video. If so, please tap that like button and comment below. It really helps out the channel. As always, I've been Joey. Please be on the lookout for more great stuff coming soon, because there's always great stuff coming soon. And on that note, guys, thanks so much, and take care.